Good evening, folks. I know we'll have some more join us possibly after we get started, but I want to be able to get you the information and let you get on with your evening. I'm Wanda Elliott. I am blessed to be the director of this program. I have 3 other people on my administrative team, and we administratively run the program. The crowning glory of our program is our senior year. It's called the Senior Capstone Project. And I am going to start a slideshow here shortly and let a video that was prepared by 2 of our graduates 2 years ago speak to the program before I really dive in. So I will be sharing the screen and all that good stuff. Ms. Alton, are we presenting at this point?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm getting weird messages on this end, of course, because we're recording. All right. So let me start their video and get rolling.
Hello, everyone. My name is Solom Tetwa. I'm a senior at the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bella Vaughn, and I'm a senior with BRVGS.
And this is why you should join BRVGS.
1, 2, 3.
One reason you should consider joining BRVGS is because it helps students with their future endeavors.
BRVGS offers courses that are more geared to your future by providing opportunities that a normal high schooler would not have. For example, if you're interested in engineering, you can take the UVA engineering course.
This not only creates a more fun learning environment, but also helps students get a better idea of what they would like to pursue after high school.
BRVGS also provides skills that would put you ahead of others, such as time management, public speaking, and so on.
Don't just take our word for it. Here are some words from some former BRVGS students on how the program has helped them achieve success.
So, how has BRVGS helped you?
Yes, so a big part of my role this year has been public speaking.
Okay.
And, BRVGS, you really get out of your comfort zone in pretty much every project you're given, which is super intimidating at the time, but it is well worth it in the end. Every BRVGS student will be so much better off in the workforce because there are so many opportunities to public speak in the future.
What specific skills did BRVGS help you improve?
Governor School did something that I think helped me a lot at Duke, in that it challenged me academically in a way that my other classes that I took with everyone else at Orange County didn't. So it really did a good job in helping prepare me toward my very rigorous education at Duke.
Are there any other skills that BRVGS gave you?
Absolutely. Time management. Time management is a big one. Deadlines are super important in the program as they are in real life. Skilled writing is also super important as well. Being able to turn around a paper quickly is a great skill to have in college. But just being able to manage your time and being able to get things done well, but also quickly is important.
So more specifically, the skills that I feel like Governor School provided were time management, right? So for our Governor School classes, there's a lot of rigor and you have hard deadlines when it comes to the projects that you're working on. And then also research skills. So that's something that helped a lot when I went to Duke, because I understood what, having, research question was and how to get, what to do, like all those steps that we did, an example in Mr. B's biology class, all of those were very useful.
What separates BRVGS from other high-achieving academic programs is its commitment to equity. It costs literally $0 to join the program, and they have worked hard to ensure that there is no aspect of their program that discriminates against anybody's identifying characteristics, such as race, gender, or ethnicity.
BRVGS also has connections with educators everywhere, so students will always have a large pool of ideas and help to draw from.
Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you at BRVGS in the future. Hello, everyone. My name is Sol.
Before we move forward, the One of those young people, the young lady was in school in Nelson, and the young man was in Orange County, and they worked collaboratively across that distance to create that video. He's currently studying at Harvard, and she is currently studying in the Philippines in Bachelor's of Nursing. So they've moved on to amazing things in their own world. To speak to what Blue Ridge truly is, as we are a Virginia Governor's School program within your high school building. That is to say, the students don't go anywhere else, and they can enjoy the community of their locality without having to experience. Basically, in the 4 years of high school, most students will take 27 to 32 courses, depending on which county you live in. And we ask 2 classes each year of that full high school education. This program is completely free with one small exception, which I'll discuss in just a little bit. And generally, there are 18 students accepted per 9th grade year in each school. 3 of the counties typically take 2 sections, so your county may be accepting 36 students, but that's generally in the bigger counties. The benefits the students spoke to very beautifully in the video, but purposefully, Blue Ridge challenges the students academically, socially, and emotionally, and we've got supports for all 3 aspects, which is what makes this very intentional. The students are asked to do group work and independent work because research is telling us that after high school or after university, you've got to be able to work with people and you have to be able to get your own tasks taken care of. As mentioned before, this communication skills are emphasized with Blue Ridge, as well as time management. Starting in 9th grade, we start working with them on how to juggle things and organize things to be able to be successful. They will have the opportunity to take some unique classes, both through Blue Ridge and through another avenue I'll speak to in a moment. And that would be the independent study courses. We have 2 very specific ones. The senior capstone I mentioned a few minutes ago, the full senior year is spent in study of a topic chosen by the student only. So it is something they pursue of their own passion. The other opportunity is they will have to take some online classes with us, and there is the opportunity for them to pick classes of their topic that we will pay up to $500 for them to take as long as they're through an accredited university. Just a quick look at where our graduates went last year. This is most of our students. We didn't have everybody's report, but we are always very proud to say we've got some kids at MIT. This past year, we had a student graduate and go to Stanford who joined a Fluvanna graduate who went to Stanford a year ago. And then we have a young person at Yale also. And while those are amazing, you can see our Virginia schools are very well attended, but I always like to take the chance to point out the community colleges. If you're not aware, the community college program has an agreement with the universities in the state. If you do 2 years at the community college level, keep the grades high, you're pretty much guaranteed entrance into the public Virginia schools. That's UVA, Virginia Tech, etc. If they do 2 years at community college first. Money-wise, there's a huge difference between 2 years at community college versus 2 years at a regular university. So I like to point that out just in case that is of benefit to you and your family. We're going to start with the 12th grade year. As mentioned, the senior capstone is the true growth piece for this course. This is Sam. He was a graduate from Louisa, and he chose to study space exploration. He was able to get an internship or a job shadowing experience at Wallops Island, and that picture is taken while he was there. He laughed and said it was one of the only few he was allowed to take because of the security agreements and the confidentiality agreements he had to sign to even be on grounds. This is Ashley. She is the young person who is at Yale this year. She's a graduate of Greene County. She did a internship about neonatal intensive care units when the family is not an English-speaking family. I believe she speaks 3 languages, and she was very considerate of the barrier that might be present when a family is not English-speaking. This is Akil. He's also a Greene County graduate. He is the young man who's currently at Stanford, and his project was on sustainable architecture, specifically at UVA. I believe that's on top of one of the buildings at UVA, and you can see the solar panels behind him. And then we have Anna, who is a Louisa graduate. She was 2 years ago, I believe. She did a project on childhood cancer, and it was particularly phenomenal because she's a pediatric cancer survivor. And as she did her research after having been through all of that, she discovered that art therapy is a wonderful way to help the children better sustain while they're being treated. So she fundraised and prepared kits to take to the children at the cancer treatment centers so that they could do something while they were in treatment. These are four of an exceptional projects for certain. Not all of them rise to this height, but definitely I point these out to say that kids get to pick what they study. It's nothing else more than we help them guide through their passion and figure out what they want to look at. We also had this young person who did a capstone on adaptive music. That is to say, music with this particular children on the autism spectrum and how that is helpful. We also had a young man do soundboard engineering at a new facility out in Madison County. It's Blue Ridge Center for the Music and the Arts, and they are specifically on mission to connect high school musicians with professional musicians and a mentor-mentee relationship. And he was able to go there and do worked with a soundboard engineer. We also had a young person who worked with theater lighting for her capstone. Her community theater, the lighting was very old, and she went about fundraising to try to raise money to have those replaced. I point this out because I want to say that your students don't have to give up what feeds their soul to be in Blue Ridge. They can still pursue the arts. They can still pursue music and band and all of those other beautiful things and still pull down a Blue Ridge education. The other question that always comes up is sports. As a very stellar example, this young man did a project on neurological diseases and physical disabilities. I believe one of his family members was dealing with one of the diseases. His name is Harry. He did all of this last year as a senior while preparing for the Olympic swim trials this past summer. And he went to those swim trials. And while he did not make the Olympic team, he is swimming for UVA now. And it's entirely possible he'll be swimming at the Olympic trials again in 4 years. Of course, that's an exceptional example, but definitely football, baseball, all of the things are still very possible while they are doing Blue Ridge. Because again, remember, they're only doing 2 classes for us each year. So basically that in a nutshell is some of the experiences the kids have during their senior year. They have an adult senior advisor in their high school for this course. They aren't just completely cut loose to go. There's a lot of structure, there's a lot of encouragement, there's support. So it's definitely, there's someone there to help them through that. Coming down a year to junior year, they will take 2 online classes with us. One of them has to be what we call a core class, which does require some group work with the other students in that class. Some of the courses we offer for college credit, we have 4 classes through UVA, as you can see the topics there. We also work with Shenandoah University, and we have, which basically is a medical ethics class called Humanities and Healthcare. Wonderful course if students are considering healthcare. If your student tops out in math at the local high school, we offer finite math through Piedmont Community College. And we, excuse me, we send our students to 2 programs through NASA, one which has college credit rather, and one does not currently. But one of them is aerospace focused and the other is earth science focused. And basically the students do 4 months of online coursework sent to us through NASA to prepare them, and then literally get a chance to go to summer camp to either be at space camp or earth science camp on a NASA facility for 7 days during the summer. And of course, if students are interested in either of these 2 topics, that's an amazing experience. All of the above is free to your student. We cover the costs if there are any. The NASA program does not cost anything, is my understanding. We have a full list of other courses that are offered junior year, and most students take one senior year as well. Just to highlight a few of those, we offer 5 different classes in computer programming. That is definitely a field that students who have any interest in coding should pursue, at least to see if it's something they want to go further with, as there are too many jobs open and not enough students in college studying them. We also have a course in international relations, which is basically international politics, and is intentionally taught in the springtime when the students can attend a Model UN conference specifically designed for teenagers at Maggie Walker's Governor's School in Richmond. So they get to go down and work with other Governor's School students discussing international policy and topics of that nature. We also have 3 literature classes, a new crime fiction course, a new science fiction course, and a creative writing class that's been around for several years. We try to get to all aspects of the student in terms of what we are offering, and that has been very popular this year. In addition to that, those courses I mentioned earlier, students, for instance, if a young person has a deep interest in economics, we don't offer a college level economics class. Most high schools do not as well. So if the student finds a community college or university that's offering that course, they send the link to us. We look through it, make sure it's legit and all of the things, and then we can pay that $500 towards that course for your student. And that can be done twice during their Blue Ridge career. So that brings us down now to sophomore year. They will take AP Biology this year. They will have a regular biology teacher in their high school for the course of the entire school year. The year gives it a lot of extra time, so to speak, to prep for the full level of the curriculum. They will do projects with the other counties involved with Blue Ridge. The picture in the top right is a plant called Arabidopsis. They're currently doing an experiment with this plant. We have worked with Virginia Tech's biology department for almost 20 years now. They send us genetically altered seeds to see what that does to the growth of the plant. And in addition to that, they grow and plant and grow both a natural seed and an altered seed. And then they also treat them with a mineral or a chemical to see whether it helps or hinders the growth of the plant. They take all the measurements. They have been talking about their plants dying off here recently. And then the professor will come back in November, listen to the students' results, and take all of that data back to Tech, which he then uses for his research. Apparently, in the last couple of years, the data from one of the Louisa cohorts was actually published in one of his scientific journals in an article that he had done for that. So it's really a phenomenal experience to be able to be involved in university research as a sophomore in high school. There'll be another project in this course during the spring semester. We won't go into the details of that, but they will be working with the other counties. And then they have a chance to go on a canoe trip with Chesapeake Bay Foundation in your county at one of the local waterways to study the quality of the water there, and of course, to spend a day in a canoe and have fun. So then that brings us down to the ninth grade course, which is also an in-building class. It's a regular SOL World History 1 and World History 2 class with quite a bit of Blue Ridge spin on it, and that there are group projects, one each semester, where the students are paired with students from like Louisa students, Flavanna students, and Goochland students might be on a team. And they work through some projects for us there. But one of the most phenomenal things we can do with this class is we take them to DC twice. We have just finished our trip for the fall with 2 cohorts of students. We start at the National Cathedral to study the architecture of the building because that building is completely stone, no steel, and it is phenomenal. So the kids, we go and point out the flying buttresses and the vaulted ceilings and the ribbed vaults and the 4 columns that hold up the bell towers. The architecture is phenomenal in terms of the engineering. Then we spent the afternoon at the Museum of Natural History, looking at some exhibits about the beginning of time and things of that nature that tie right into the World History 1 curriculum that they are currently studying. In the springtime, they'll take the World History 2, which of course is the World Wars era. So we will spend a morning on the National Mall at the war memorials. And then we will be spending a little bit later some time at the Holocaust Museum for a little more poignant time. Again, all of that tying back to their World History 2 curriculum. That is basically the 4 years they would spend with us. And it is definitely something that grows your student accordingly. I'm going to go ahead and jump into application process, but certainly if you have questions, once I'm done with this, I'll be more than happy to answer whatever questions you may have. Applications are already open if your student's interested. You're simply going to go to our website. The website now has 3 teal buttons because my IT specialist is amazing and has broken them open, but you're going to click on the one that says admissions and application. That page is going to give you all of the details for applying. But basically, it's a matter of clicking on the link. You'll sit down with your student. The application requires the student's name, the parent's name, emails for both, a date of birth, I believe, and then one other thing the student has to get before they can finish it off, and that is the name of 3 teachers who are willing to be references for the young person. There needs to be a math teacher and a science teacher, both of those needing to be from 7th and 8th grade or 8th grade, and then a 3rd educator that's known them anytime in the last 3 to 5 years. And then we've even got on that website form emails that the students can copy and paste into an email, put the teacher's name in there. Are you willing to be a reference for me, so forth, and click on this link. The teacher recommendations are also in an online link. So once you have those 3 names, you can click submit, and that is the end of the process for application. Those do close on December the 6th, so that will be the last date that any of the counties are taking these applications. All of these applications are processed locally. So if you live in Louisa, you will only compete with the Louisa students. If you live in Greene County, you'll only compete with Greene County students, and so forth. So after you've applied, what comes next? Between January and March, at your local middle school or within your 8th grade cohort, your students will be given an ability test. That is, what are they capable of? They will also do an achievement test. What have they learned so far? They'll be asked to do a performance task, which is basically a problem-solving scenario where they're presented with multiple documents, and they have to sift through, decide which one's relevant to the question that's asked, which ones might support their thoughts on the question that's asked, and they write a one-page memo defending what they think is the best answer. There's not one right answer, so it's okay. They just need to read through it and process it. They're going to do a mini interview. I say mini because it's only 3 questions. It is with staff from the middle school, people that they already know, and they'll be able to read the questions 5 minutes before going into the actual interview. So we try to make it very low key. The interview panel also expects 8th grade answers, so they're not looking for something that's college level or even high school level because they're interviewing 8th graders. So we try to make it as low stress as possible there. They will then look at grades for 7th and 8th, and they will look at the recommendations provided by the teachers the student has provided. And all of that will be done before March. And all of this data is dumped literally into a spreadsheet rubric where the top 18 scores, or in some cases 36 scores, are calculated. And then sometime in March, depending on the grading periods for the school system, letters of acceptance will go out. And we'll pause for a moment to say, I've told the kids across most of the counties I've spoken to, if they're least been interested, go ahead and apply and go through this process. It's a wonderful experience for whatever comes next in their world that they want to apply to. And if they're not sure and they get accepted and they know they don't want to, they simply can say no thank you. There's almost always a wait list in the counties, so they'll just pull up the next student's name. But by all means, if they sort of are interested, I encourage them to apply. Some of the frequently asked questions: a cost. Again, no cost with one exception. That one exception is lunch money when we go to Washington, D.C. We ask that they bring enough money to buy lunch at a food court, and that's it. Just spring and fall of the freshman year, and that's all we ask for costs. Once they are accepted into the program, they're in to stay. They'll need to keep their grades okay, and they'll need to stay out of big trouble for the most part, but they never have to reapply. And how do we specifically support students? I mentioned my staff earlier. I have an educational technology person who's phenomenal and will help them with any computer issues they have, or technology or anything. We are also able to offer MiFi to students who may not have dependable internet at their homes, and we have other pieces in place as well. I also have a certified counselor on staff. So as bright students hit the point where they have to study more than they ever thought they would need to, the wheels start to wobble on the confidence. We were able to connect them with my counselor on staff if students wish. She goes out and checks on people all the time, and is just there as an additional support to the school system's counseling staff and the amazing teachers that are also working with the students. So it's just another helpful support. We also have the opportunity for the 9th graders and the 10th graders to sign up for mentors who are juniors or seniors. Totally voluntary. So if they wish to talk to one of the older students about things, they can sign up for that program. And twice a year, we have what we call a wellness conference, because mental health and stability for your young person is our first focus, their academic health being second. And we voluntarily, they can sign up to come out. We have a little breakfast. We talk about how to deal with stress. We do some things that would encourage them processing through skills that might cause more stress, such as talking to people they maybe not care for or get along well with, and working through how you do that in the world. And then we feed them lunch and then send them back, and just to have some fun and let them be comfortable in that scenario. The other question we get on the regular is moving. I don't really want to apply because I won't be here long. As long as you move to one of the 7 counties that we exist in, you're still in the program. We had a young person move from Nelson to Louisa about 3 weeks ago, and we were so excited that they were moving to Louisa because they were able to stay in our program. So as long as it's one of the 7, we are good to go. I am going to stop sharing and come back to the live and ask if there are any other questions, concerns, information that you may wish to ask about. You can also type it in the chat. Ms. Alton or I1 will try to catch it if it's there. Well, hearing no questions, you're welcome to stick around and ask a private question if you wish, or you can email us. My email is welliottwelliott@brvgs.k12.ba.us. All of these are also on our website. If there are questions that you have as you move through the process, again, the applying process is pretty straightforward, and then they just go through the stuff in the spring, and then we'll know something by March. We as a school, Blue Ridge, my staff, we're not involved in those decisions. All of that's handled by your localities. Thank you all. Have a good evening. Stick around if you still would like to ask a question.